I hate Airy. Hey guys, Red here, and today I'm going to talk about something I hate. What would that be? Why, none other than Bravely Default's penultimate boss fight, Airy. This is unacceptable, and I just absolutely hate her guts. So much. But enough drama, spoiler warning for Default's ending coming up, so don't watch if you don't want to know. Otherwise, let's just get this crap over with. So, a very fast plot recap. Airy reveals that she has deceived your party and is now going to try and kill your team. Ooh. Now, there are two different endings to the game, but only the true ending path will involve the god-awful third form. For those of you who didn't know, to get the false ending to the game, just keep tapping X when awakening any crystal after Chapter 5 until Airy tries to kill you. For completing this ending, you get Anya's Vestal garb as a costume. As for the true ending, just play the game as normal and don't break any crystals. So, Airy does her little speech and then morphs into her first hideous form, the Larvae phase. The only nice comment I'll make about Airy is the design of her different phases, which follow the evolution of a butterfly. Very cool. That and the fact that Square Enix made fairies what they truly used to be, manipulative little monsters way back in the medieval times, before they were modernized by general Hollywood and TV and such. Airy's disgusting larvae form will mostly focus on physical attacks. Usually at the very beginning, she will use Tight Bind on your team, which inflicts stop, and then follow it up with her signature move, Slaughter. This is probably the powerhouse move you want to avoid for now. It hits the entire team for high amounts of damage and has a chance to cause poison. It does cost her 1 BP to use though, but it is still a major hazard. Other moves in her arsenal include Poison Punisher, which you can guess who that kills instantly, and Spike Guard. This creates a counter barrier for Airy, so any physical hits on her will result in a returning attack from her. This will disappear after a few turns. Wow. Okay, we're already off to a crazy start. But this is fair enough. It's not too bad. It's challenging. For Spike Guard, all you really gotta do is magic damage, but otherwise just default until the barrier is gone if you don't have any. Make sure to cure any poison quickly so she can't insta-kill anyone with Poison Punisher, and there's nothing you can really do about Tight Bind, just be ready for it at any moment. The only move I really want to warrant caution about would be Slaughter. This thing hits like a truck and can easily wipe out your team. My only suggestions for this would be to use Stillness from the Spirit Master class, a command deemed pretty cheap for this fight, but it's really the best option here. You could use Giant's Draft for double HP and then default against her attacks, but again, I would personally rather use Stillness over that. Giant's Draft, though, is still a good thing to have on your team during all phases of this boss. Airy will start the fight with 150,000 health, and once it drops to 15,000, the next phase will begin. Beating Airy down this far will make her morph again, this time into a Pupa form. Even more fleshy and disgusting than the last one. Great. And this is where she also begins to cross the threshold from just annoying boss fight to being a complete butthole. This time around, Airy switches to a much more magic-based set of attacks. She can cast Berserk on your teammates, but this isn't much more than a small nuisance. Luxuria can be slightly more irritating, casting a chance of Charm across the entire team, so watch out for that. And of course, just the usual attacking magic spells ending with Ga, so Fire Ga, Blizzard Ga, etc., etc. The thing that really starts her transition to complete buttholiness is a little spell called Acedia, which is very broken. It casts across your entire team every 3 or 4 turns and makes everyone weak to every type of element in the game. So if you get hit by this and then you don't fix it before she casts some damage magic, be prepared to lose most likely. This will hit you so hard, it's not funny. So just make sure to get rid of this debuff as much as possible. Again, if you can't get rid of the debuff before she's going to cast another spell, Stillness will save you from this many times over. Again, as well, Giant's Draft and defaulting is another alternative, but like I said, I wouldn't take it over Stillness. The other moves are just kind of generic, so just make sure to be on the lookout that they don't finish you off after being hit by Acedia magic spam. This second form has a total of 99,999 health, which I'm just going to round to 100,000 for simplicity's sake. The first time you get her down to half health, she'll heal back up to full HP, but this only happens that one time, so you really only have to kill the same amount of HP from the first phase, 150,000. If this is the false ending, then congrats, you're all done. The second phase is the last one you're going to have to fight. Well, technically you fight her first phase twice, and then you fight this one. You can go home now, though. As for the rest of us who are doing the true ending, there's still a lot more suffering from where that came from. So now we get to the third phase, which comes near the end of the true ending. Perfect Airy. I have never in my life hated any video game boss to the degree of this one single fight. It took me 3 stinking weeks to beat her. Let's go why over this fight is so miserable and finally how to take care of her. This fight absolutely sucks for multiple reasons. The first is because now Airy has access to abilities from both of her previous forms along with new ones. To be specific, I will make a list. Slaughter is now back, which sucks of course. And there's Dark Abyss, a new move that puts Dread on your entire team, which sucks. And now Poison Punisher has been revamped into Plague, which kills anybody who has any kind of status ailment, which is just horrible. The absolute worst part of this fight is Acedia's return. Now Airy is even more dangerous than ever because she will now default, and then follow up on the next turn with Acedia, and then Zeta Flare on the same turn. Zeta Flare is the most powerful fire attack in the game. Now if you manage to get hit by one of those, it's basically a wipe, and this is not a rare occasion. She will spam this attack over and over and over again. So what can we do here? Stillness. Just stillness. In all seriousness though, Giant's Draft or Stillness are going to be your best choices for staying alive. Otherwise, it's gonna be a rough fight. Just hang in there. Now for damage. Using Hasten World can make Airy spam the Acedia Zeta Flare combo a lot more than she already does, but at least it makes it a little more predictable and controllable. The ways of dealing damage don't really change effectiveness at any particular phase, so there's no particular way to do damage that's going to be any better at any particular point. Minus Strike is always a welcome option, but you can also take advantage of her fire weakness and burn her down that way. Another great move is to use a pirate to keep her stats in check when she constantly weakens your team, so that they balance out and she doesn't deal as much damage. But probably the best item to have is an Ice Flame Shield on your healer. Zeta Flare won't hurt this person if that happens, and it is of the utmost importance to keep your healer up and ready for reviving the rest of your team during this fight and any fight. Now when I finally knocked her down for the first time, I was so excited. Until I saw her get revived. I nearly put my 3DS through the wall at that point. Airy will be revived twice when you take out all of her 100,000 hit points, meaning you will have to fight 3 times. Have fun! But once you knock her down that third time, oh, the sweet, sweet taste of suffering. Oops, glory. I admit, I cried a little bit when I beat her. Tears of joy. It felt good, like my first Vault of Glass win. And I hope it'll feel the same way for you. If you weren't prepared for this mess of a boss fight, it would be nothing but just grief. But I hope this has helped you out. This is what I did for the fight, but if you have another way that you do, which I know that there's tons of different variations for beating this fight, like Performer BP spam and other stuff, let me know. I enjoy seeing your guys' variations in the comments. Or if there's any other bosses that are giving you some trouble, same deal. Just message it up and I'll try and see what I can do about it. But for now, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon.